Welcome to You Are Not Alone. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. I am spiritual medium Erika Gabriel. Hello, beautiful people, beautiful friends. Welcome back to You Are Not Alone. I'm so happy to be with you. It's been a minute. That was a little break, a little surprise break. Sometimes that happens if you guys have been listening for a while. First of all, I've gone on very long breaks and then come back to it. But this was just a little short one. This was like a little moment. I was planning an event. And I did an event with Lindsay Simsick, who is the host of Almost 30 podcast. And she wrote a book with her co-host called Almost 30. And you guys know because I went on her podcast. I've been on twice now, but I went on her podcast and then she came on mine. So you guys may have listened to that episode. But when we recorded the second time around, we were like, so what are we doing? Are we doing something? Like it just kind of was a moment and we were like, we should do something together. And we did. It was awesome. We did an event for 35 women. We talked about seasons of change and spirit and how to utilize and work with spirit to help you during times of change. And it was awesome. You know, you never know when you get in a group, like, are people going to be warmed up to this? Like, are people going to participate? And my gosh, everyone there was just in such a beautiful way. And then we all had lunch and I had a great time. And to be honest with you, like, you know how people always say, like, I had the best time ever. I say that a lot. And then I think back, I'm like, did I have fun? Was that just stressful? Was that, you know what I mean? Do I like socializing? But I actually did have an amazing time and I loved planning the event with Lindsay. So just planning the event and doing readings and just doing life, I just needed to pause for a second, but I am back. I am better than ever. I'm going to take on the world. But this episode, it's deep and it's intense and it needs to be said. It's called The Long Goodbye. And it's called The Long Goodbye because, guys, it's been tough. It has been tough out here just as a medium and as connecting with as many people as I do. A lot of just really intense crossings, and just listen, anytime someone crosses over, when my grandma crossed over and she was, 96 years old, like, I mean, I was bawling my eyes out. It's not like people don't cross and you go, you know what I mean? That you care about. Never heard it. Never heard it, never experienced it. But people, are losing children and husbands, just one, young guys just not waking up and just so many different, just really just tough situations. And again, they all are. But just, I've had some moments where my tears in a reading start flowing, just flowing. And I just need a minute. I just need to take a deep breath. And I just go, this has nothing to do with you, Erika. Erika, just step aside. Let spirit, let go and let spirit. So I think sometimes when someone is just mourning and just experiencing a tremendous loss, it's not, I mean, I am very sad and feel horrible, but I can put her aside, Erika aside, but it is the energy of the person that I'm reading for sometimes overwhelms me. Their sadness overwhelms me. Now, the person in spirit is usually like, hey, they're fine. But the ones left behind, it's just so tough. It's just so hard. And, grief grows with you. It doesn't just poof, magically go away, And I just have a heart and so much love to every single person I read for. When I read for someone, I am just 100%, my life is about them during that time. Um, so anyone listening, I am so sorry. I am so sorry you lost your loved one. I am so sorry. And I just want to put that out there as we go deeper into this episode. Um, so the long goodbye, the long and short, right? So no one comes to earth and stays forever. Every single person we know, every single person we love, our us. Wait, I got to take my headphones off. Hold on, guys. Ah, that feels so much better. Sometimes the headphones are itching my ears. Maybe I need new headphones. But everyone we know, everyone we've ever known, us, we cross over. No one can stay here forever. It is the weirdest part of life, really, just walking around knowing we're going to die. You know what I mean? And it's so normal and it's so natural. I was telling my kids about, you know, birth and sex and how how our bodies create children and just all of that. And it's like, oh my God, it's like, mom, and I'm like, I know, but it is so natural. And obviously I gear it towards their ages, but they're going to hear about it already. You know what I mean? They talk about it with their friends. So obviously I'm, making it appropriate for their ages, but they're just like, oh my God, mom, stop. And I'm like, I hear you, but remember, these are natural things and things that are beautiful and need to be respected. So it's like there's things about life that are just like, wow, that's wild. And it's just so wild about the fact that we're all going to cross. We come from spirit, we're here, we experience, and then we go back home. Our bodies are just vessels for a time, and then they go. And we take with us our experiences, the love we created, the experiences we had, the people we met, the ways that we evolved our spirits and souls. We come here to learn and then we go. And how we go, when we go, can be such a mystery. Listen, I don't think from what I've seen that every single person's passing is exactly planned. Okay. So again, I'm going to use dying by suicide. I have been with people that really had some big sliding glass doors. And, behind one door was a continued life with good and bad. And then the other door was, their decision to take their own life. So, there are a lot of crossroads and there's a lot of different paths we can take. We get messages all the time like, hey, maybe don't do that to your body. That's not going to end well. And we can either listen or we don't. And that can contribute to how we cross. I mean, listen, things are all different. There's all different reasonings that we go when we do. Some crossings are very planned. Some are etched in stone. And so it is, right? Um, but there's all kinds of ways that we cross, really. So, and it's sad. It's sad for those left behind. It's like, why did that have to happen? Why did this child have to suffer this way? Why? And we don't always know the answer. We don't always know people's paths. We don't always know why someone came here. And when I say karma, I'm not saying bad karma. Okay. So let me just start there. It's not like, oh, this child had bad karma and they had to suffer. No, 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 no. Karma can be completing things, completing understanding, completing karma with other people. Sometimes they are learning these lessons about love and devotion because they got to learn them. They got to give those to someone else in another life. And then they come here with a soul contract and they get to experience that. There is all kinds of things, all kinds of timelines, all kinds of sliding glass doors. Again, some things are destined. Um, and the other thing that's coming up a lot is the long goodbye. The long goodbye. Ugh. People, will call me and say, oh my God, Erica, my, mom has been in a home with a horrible disease for 10 years. Why? Why, is this why doesn't God come for her, Um, and it's not always clear. Sometimes it is, and sometimes I can see, the path or the reasons, but sometimes it's just not clear, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why that person is experiencing that and what that is for their soul, and also what their soul is doing when they're sleeping, if the soul drops in and out. If they're being extremely, their earthly self is being stubborn, sometimes people get, a rut in their mind that they can't go, that they're fighting going. It's really it can be complicated. It can be simple, but there is a lot of different things that can be going on, and I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about. I personally know what I'm talking about because my dad is suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia, and I don't know that I've talked about here. I don't think I've told you guys that. I really don't. And I look at him and he's a man who, has was a doctor for God, 40, 50, 60. I mean, 50 years or more, devoted day and night to saving people's lives. I mean, this man went above and beyond 24/7 to help people. I mean, he's like 75 years old on call, like getting calls at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like he was playing a young man's game forever, like just hustling, and I'm looking at him and it's like, why is this his end? Just why? And just watching, him deteriorate and lose a tooth and have dementia, just his brilliant mind, why? Why can't God take him? You know what I mean? And you don't wish death on anyone, and I don't wish my dad to die. My God, it's the last thing I want. But why this? Why does he have to experience this? And I have my thoughts, Um, but there's so much of life that's a mystery, and we don't know what his soul is processing or going through. I've talked to his parents. I'm like, come get your boy, y'all. Like, what's going on here, you guys? Like, come get your boy. Let's go, And they're just like, that is not our job, They will be there when he's ready and ready to cross. But they can't come and take him. That's not their job to pull someone's life. And I know a lot of you are dealing with this. I talk to you, dealing with someone that's suffering or taking so long to cross over. And I know many of you are caretakers. So many of you are taking care of their sick relative, and it's exhausting and it's expensive and it's dominating your life. And I know you're tired. I know you're tired, and I don't know exactly why that's your path, and I don't know why it's theirs. But we can get wrapped up in very, very long goodbyes. And it's very challenging, and we don't know what people's paths are. Same thing, I have a friend that's a reporter and in the news, and she always asks me, why are these horrible things happening to people? And it's like you don't know what other people's destinies, paths, what they came here to learn, what they came here to do. We just don't know. We just don't know. Some people think that if you were really horrible to someone, that you have to come back as the person you were horrible to. So you have to experience the trauma that you imposed on someone. I don't know exactly what I think about that. Again, I think there's infinite stories and infinite timelines. Um, but you have to dig within your own spirit and make some kind of peace with the fact that everyone has their own path and everyone has their own soul's journey. Because asking why and why and why is very exhausting, and you're not going to get a good answer, right? The answers are not going to be cute. So instead, you ask God and Spirit to assist you in keeping the faith and keeping your strength, showing up for that person, and remembering that everyone has their own paths. So the long goodbye, whew, it's tough. Um, and then we think about the short goodbye. Oh my God. Someone sits in their lounger, their Barker lounger one day watching their favorite show and bingo bango, they don't wake up. You know what I mean? So here's what's interesting about that. You know, this happens a lot actually, and I talked to a lot of people that has, someone had a quick passing like that or a shocking passing, and they're so sad because they didn't get to say goodbye. They didn't know what they wanted, how they wanted them to do stuff after they crossed. They didn't get to say their goodbye. They didn't, they're replaying their final conversation over and over again, and sometimes it's an argument, and it's just really, really tough when someone goes really fast. And I believe at times there is that sliding glass door for that person. It's like, do you want to have a long goodbye or do you want to have a short goodbye? A lot of times these people never saw themselves being old. Um, and a lot of times they want to spare their families of these long goodbyes. Doesn't mean the long goodbye people don't want to spare the family. It just means they're on a different path. And sometimes, maybe that's part of their karma. Last time it was a long goodbye, this time's a short goodbye, right? But a lot of times it's, I don't want to say better. It's just such the wrong word. It's not better. It just is. That is their soul's journey, that it was a quick goodbye. And we don't exactly know why, because they didn't play out their sickness. They didn't play out the long goodbye. There are so many unanswered questions, and that's why we choose to believe that everyone is on their own path and journey. We choose to ask spirit for assistance and to support during this time. We choose to ask for continued strength. We choose to ask for continued faith. We ask spirit to lift us up as we hold space and we watch and we are seeing other people's soul's journey. It is the only thing that can help us during these times, during the quick or long or however it goes, however they go. And I do hear a lot of times when people have quick goodbyes, it's like that's how they would want it. A lot of their family goes, man, this was the worst thing, but that's how they would have chosen to go if they could choose. You know what I mean? Um, it's really, really hard. And to those that are watching someone deteriorate or to those that have experienced, I know it's a lot of you, someone going very fast. Trust me, my heart is with you. I am with you. Spirit is with you. God is with you. You're not alone. There are so many people that are experiencing what you're experiencing because everybody dies. Everybody crosses over. But I will tell you, love never dies. And the love you create here and the kindness you create here and the experiences you get to have here go with you. They go with you. So please also note, and I say this so much on this podcast, even though we all cross over, we all die, this incarnation does end. It is not a call to prematurely end it. So don't get it twisted. It's like, well, if we're all going to die anyway, I can just end this. And it's like, no, you can't. Your soul went through so much to get here. You are supposed to be here. Everyone that's here right now is supposed to be here. No one's an accident. No one's a mistake. And we all have reasons that we came. So keep going. Keep going. You are still here. You are still alive. Don't make your life miserable because that person left. And it will be for a while because you're grieving and grief grows with you, but you must go on. You must still live. It's why you're here. You can't tap out because they're gone. It's just so important to remember that. You can't tap out like on your life, while you're still here and just saying, well, they went and I'm just going to shut myself in. And you also can't want to cross over or try and, cross over by suicide. You just can't do it, guys. It's not your time. I just want to say that. I felt the need to say that for those people that are feeling really, really bad. There's more for you. And you are supposed to be here. And I know how horrible it is to lose someone. And I know how horrible it is to watch someone just deteriorate and slip away while they're still here. And I also know what it's like to lose someone quickly. So know that I'm with you and I see it. And remember that everyone has their own time, their own journey, their own path. All we can do is keep our faith and continue to ask for our strength and showing us the path that we can best serve that person. I will say for a lot of you that are experiencing someone with dementia and Alzheimer's, just going in, even if they don't recognize you, my dad does recognize me, by the way, very much so. I mean, when I walk in, he's like, "Oh, I love you. Thank you for coming." He gives me a huge hug. Yesterday, he grabbed my hand and just said, "Oh my God, I love you so much." He goes, "You're deep in my heart. You're in my heart." And he just looked me in the eye and I'm like, "Yes, Dad, I know." Oh, you know, so fuck, what was I saying? I just got in the moment there. Duh. Oh, yes. So just bringing that energy vibration of love, even if they don't quite recognize you, the soul does. The soul does. The vibration is there. The vibration of love is there. The soul recognizes you. Okay. The soul sees that you're there. Don't forget that. I hope this served you. It was such a short one, but we needed to talk about this. We needed to talk about the long goodbye. The long goodbye. I really hope this serves you. I know how many of you are going through this. Listen, DM me. I try and answer as many as I can. If people DM me and are like, "Can you give me a reading over DM?" I'm like, "No, I'm sorry." You know what I mean? But if you have something you want me to talk about, or if you want to share about a long goodbye that you've experienced, DM me and please leave me a review if you can, guys. It really helps me keep going. And follow me at Spiritual Medium Erica. Follow me on Instagram. There's much more there. And I have pictures of the event too. So if you want to check out my event, definitely check that out. I love you. Much more to come. My greatest prayer is that this served you. No matter what you take away from this, please know that you are not alone. God is with you. Your whole team in spirit is with you. And so am I. Take good care. More to come. I love you. God bless. And we'll talk soon.